Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the CrossWinds More Than Sunday podcast. This is Chris. I'm the senior pastor here. This is
Jodie Tey, Associate Pastor.
Jodie Tey.
Hello, we're back.
Back into our podcast to kind of share with you some stuff that's going on here.
Yep.
We're so excited to get to talk to you a little bit about what we're planning for Holy Week today. There's so much we've got coming up. Well, I guess so much implies like we have 8 things. We have 2 things, but they're big things. There's a lot going into them, and one of them is such a different kind of experience. We wanted to take some time and kind of talk through it. So we'll get into all of that. But before we do, what's up, Jodie? How you been?
I'm good. Can I tell you why?
Yeah, by all means.
It's a Monday.
Yeah.
But my kids went back to school this morning.
They did?
Yes, they went back to school.
So what does that look like at your school? Because your kids are at a Christian school. Mm-hmm. What's the...
Yeah, they go Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 8 o'clock to 3.
Nice.
A full school day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, with PE and everything.
Okay, yeah.
And then Wednesdays they go from 8 until 1.
All right.
So they're back at it, like full-fledged, full steam ahead.
Okay.
They're back at school.
My kids are back as well, although not really. So like Quinn is a senior this year, and she's only got like what are there 10 weeks left?
Yeah.
And I think she's like, why am I going to go back for 10 weeks?
Right.
So she's just going to continue doing it from home.
Yeah.
And then Kennedy's going back. She's in 7th grade, but at our school you go back Thursday, Friday. She's back.
Cohort B, she told me.
Right.
So she's Thursday,
She's
Friday.
in Group B. That's exactly right. So she'll be back, half a day on Thursday and Friday, and then the rest of it will be online.
Yeah, that's what she said.
And then just now, Quinn called me and was like, the internet's not working at our house. The internet's not working.
I know, I saw it. She's right outside the door.
So I'm like, just
sitting
come
on our
to church
patio.
and just do school from church today.
Yeah.
So she's sitting in the courtyard doing class. Although Kennedy is still at home
Oh,
doing
bless
it
her heart.
on our flawed internet. So I don't know what's going
Poor thing.
on. It is the hard part of this is the internet piece.
Yeah.
It can be challenging.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
And we won't even go into it.
Well, good. I'm glad for you guys that your kids are back every single day.
Oh my gosh.
I wish that were an option for the rest of us.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean it like that.
It's all good.
Rub it in at all. It's
You're not rubbing it in. That's good. That's good.
means I get to be here more, which makes me happy.
There you go. Well, let's talk a little bit. Sorry if everybody can hear the banging in the room next to us. So my office is right on the other side of this wall where I think someone is getting paper towels out of a paper towel dispenser.
That's exactly what it is.
Hear what is happening on the okay. And there's construction happening for Goodness Village, so you're going to hear beeping going on and airplanes flying overhead and freeway noise.
All kinds of things.
This is not the quiet campus that you always might imagine it is when it's not Sunday.
It's so busy.
So let's talk to everybody a little bit about Good Friday.
Yeah.
This is going to be such a cool experience. I'm so excited about this. And tell us a little bit of what this is this year.
So this year we're calling it the Good Friday Pilgramage. And I think that's an appropriate word because
we're all flying to the Holy Land.
Yeah. This is like a pilgrimage you would take in the Holy Land because you're probably going to walk that much.
On the CrossWinds campus.
On the CrossWinds campus.
Yeah,
Exactly. So this is going to be, we've done something kind of like this before, but not the way we're doing it this year. So it's kind of like a Stations of the Cross, if you're familiar with Stations of the Cross, where you kind of do a reflective, contemplative, meditative, let's do 3 adjectives there, journey where you kind of follow Jesus through the last week of his life and you reflect and meditate on that. But the twist for us this year is that this is going to be an audio journey. So when you go to a museum, if you've ever been to a museum, which we all haven't been to in a really long time, and you get to listen to someone kind of narrate and talk through the art that you're looking at.
Yeah, if you buy the audio tour.
Yeah, if you buy the audio tour, you can listen to it. Well, that's what this is going to be, is that you're going to be kind of led through an audio tour, pilgrimage, through like the last week of Jesus' life. But it's going to happen all on the CrossWinds campus.
So I'm so excited about that piece of it. And part of where we came up with that idea, just the story behind some of this, is we were talking about doing a Stations thing like this already. And if you've been here before, we've done Stations of the Cross before on Good Friday. I think we've done this at least twice before. Something
2 times.
Once in our old building in Dublin, and I think we did one of these out here before the church even moved out here.
Right. It was one of the first things we did out here, really.
But we now have access to a lot more of the campus, and especially kind of the outdoor space. And with COVID, we're wanting to keep this all in the outdoor space. So I was telling Jodie that back when I was doing youth ministry, like 25 years ago, maybe even more than that. Oh my gosh! I had this. There was this nature center near the church where I would go and I'd just pray and kind of talk to God, and it'd go for like an hour walk, hour and a half. And, when you do that enough in the same place, you see these things that are meaningful to you. You see it. There's tons of trees. This is back in like the suburbs of Chicago. There's tons of trees, but there's this one tree that it's huge. In the fall, it turns a different color. You see these ponds. It's always got snapping turtles in it, but there's this one section where there's like a special turtle, right? I don't know what I'm talking about. There's one area where the geese land, and when they land, they take off as well. And anyway, it's like an airport for geese, a runway. So what I did was I wanted the kids in my student ministry to have the experience that I had. So this will date me. I got a Walkman that could record. And I walked around one day, and I recorded like what to be looking at as you go through this 60-minute trail, right? And I had these moments where I would be like, all right, now turn left at the fork in the trail here. This was not well done, whatever I did. I'm pretty sure every kid got lost with my directions. There was no signage. There was no indicator. It was one long recording. But it was cool in the sense that there were moments where it could kind of be a devotional moment, reading scripture and then pointing things out that might be more meaningful than if I just sent a 16-year-old to go walking on a trail and hope that they had a God experience. Right. So I've always wondered, what would it be to do something like that out here on this property? And so you're combining that idea with the Stations of the Cross idea, and this is going to be a whole new experience like nothing we've done before.
Yeah, we haven't done anything like this before. And if you're listening and you're thinking, oh, this sounds a little bit like Christmas, what we did at Christmas, it's completely different.
Nothing like Christmas.
It is nothing like Christmas. Christmas was where a lot of you came and you observed and you took some things in. This is really a you and God time where you're going to be asked some really specific questions of yourself as you go on this journey, and it's really you participating in a very deep and thoughtful way. And we're doing that in a way that lets you use the campus and be out in nature, and just what you said, Chris, about different things that you notice. That you were noticing about the nature that you were in. We've noticed things about our campus that we've thought, oh my gosh, it would be so cool if someone stood here and just noticed these things about. I have a tree on campus that I do that with, where I'm like, I love this tree, and I watch this tree.
Oh, that's cool.
So we've marked certain places on campus that maybe you have never seen before. In fact, if you've been out here before and you think to yourself, I've seen everything on the campus before. I guarantee you, when you come out, you will see something new, because we're using a part of our campus that we have not used before to do this.
It's we won't give anything away. I think it's really important that we don't give anything away. But there are moments within the first 5 minutes of this that you will be looking at some things and hearing scripture and hearing music that go into what it is to look at this, that will make it a profound experience. And then it will ask you to look inward as you're listening as well. I think it's going to be really, really cool. I'm glad you said it's not like Christmas. We're not walking around in groups.
Nope.
There's not a tour guide like there was at Christmas.
Right.
This is a solo experience, right? It's not to mean you can't come out with your significant other or with a small group and all try to come at the same time. But it's solo in that everybody is going to be listening to this audio tour on their own smartphone.
Right.
You need a smartphone to be able to really do this experience the way that it needs to be done, right?
Right, and you also need earbuds or some kind of headphones or something like that, because can you imagine like 50 people out here all listening to the same audio and having it kind of blast from everyone's phone? It would totally take away from the quiet, reflective nature of this. And so we're asking everyone, bring your own smartphone. You need to have earbuds or headphones or something like that so that you can kind of plug in and it's just have that you and God experience. So no, it's not a group exercise or experience.
Yeah. I think that's another really important thing to just hang on for a second. There are moments where if you think you're going to kind of break that rule and not use the headphones, there are moments where you will find yourself sitting in a spot on campus where 7 other people might already be sitting, and you'll kind of be in the general area of each other. Most of the time you'll probably be on your own, but somebody might be hanging out a little longer at a spot. And what we can't have is 7 versions of the voice or the song or the whatever all bleeding into each other. That'll kind of ruin the experience. So that is a really important thing. But again, you can come as a group or as a family. It's just that everyone will have a solo experience as they go through this. Just like you would at a museum if you all had your own listening device.
Yeah, because there's going to be certain times for you where you're going to want to stop and take a little longer than someone else in your group.
Yeah.
And then someone else is going to be like, I want to go on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to have the freedom to move through this at their own pace.
At their own pace. I think you're dead on. So let's talk about that.
Yep.
How long can people anticipate being out here for this?
I think, I've walked it in like 35, 40 minutes, you know, but that's at a fast clip and not being very thoughtful about what I'm doing. You can do it in that amount of time, but I would say that if you're planning to come out and really, give yourself the gift of the experience, it would be about an hour.
Yeah.
But you can make it longer than that if you want. If you want to do an hour and a half, that's up to you, but I would plan on about an hour.
Yeah, I would not make this a thing that you come to as part of a checklist of things you got to get done that day.
Yeah.
I would save this to be the thing that you want to leave some room for in your kind of spiritual life for that weekend. I'll tell you, as excited as I am about Easter, I'm more excited about Good Friday because I think that this can be such a profound experience for people on our campus, alone with God. So you're right. I'd say, I mean, you can walk the whole thing in 30 minutes and listen to everything that we'll have for you, I think. But realistically, you could stay for 3 hours if you want. I'm not suggesting you stay for 3 hours, although we won't kick you out. I'm suggesting you're going to want to go at whatever pace you feel God is moving you to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. And you're going to want to make sure you have some time.
Yeah, and we are giving you that time on Friday. So the hours where it will be open, quote unquote, are from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Right. So there's plenty of time on Friday for you to come and carve out some time and do this.
Yeah, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. When we say that, 6 p.m. is the last time you can leave to begin the walk. You got to do this in the daylight. I guess it could be dusk or getting to be twilight as you're kind of rounding the end of this. But where that matters, I think, for this is that if you started at 7, you'd be hard pressed to really have the experience we want you to have. So
because sunset's around 7:20 that day. We already looked, and you're going to get caught in the dark.
All right, we'll talk about how to get. There's no reservation. We'll get into all of that in a second. But I think another piece of this, we want to make sure you understand this is a hike.
Yes.
This is a hike. So when we say hike, that word means different things. Like if I said to you like, oh my gosh, it's a long hike over to Oakland today. That might mean there's traffic. It might mean it took me a long time. We don't mean that. When we say hike, you might think we're talking about climbing a mountain in Yosemite. We don't mean that. What do we mean when we say that?
I mean that when you come out here, you're going to be walking on uneven terrain. Like every time I know I'm going to be walking this path, I put on my hiking boots. I don't wear my tennis shoes. I wear my hiking boots. You can do it in tennis shoes.
I wear my tennis shoes.
Because, it's wet out there and the terrain is uneven.
Wait. It's not. Wait, but I don't want to give people the impression they're walking through mud on this.
Oh no,
journey,
you're not walking through
or that
mud.
it's wet in the.
It's
wet because you go do it at 9 a.m. when there's dew on the ground.
There's dew on the ground every time I walk it. Yeah. So it's not going to be soggy or
no
anything like that. But
unless it rained the day before, in which case it might be muddy.
Okay, so it might be.
We'll see.
Take that into consideration.
We'll see, but I think it's a good point. If you're coming at 9 a.m., it might be a little wet.
Yeah.
If you're coming the day after it rained, we don't know what to expect yet. It might be a little wet. Be prepared for the elements.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very uneven out there. The first part especially, because it's on the front part of our campus.
Yes. It's
very unexplored, I guess I should say.
Yeah, it is. In fact, some of you might not even know it's part of our campus.
Right.
If you were to have been out here and just been where we have our buildings, and then maybe just been back where we've been doing our outdoor gatherings or did Christmas stuff, you have not experienced the third part of our campus, which is up kind of near the freeway on the other side of a dry creek. And a good portion of this is actually almost all over our campus,
right? But
a good portion of it is up on that part that you're not used to exploring, and it is uneven territory. There's no pavement over there. We have mowed the path. There's some spots with wood chips, but by and large, it's a little uneven. You got to be ready for that.
Yeah, be ready for that hike part.
Right.
And that's why we're calling it a pilgrimage.
Yes.
Because of the length, but also it's a little bit of it's an exciting journey that you're going to be going on.
That's also part of why we have an audio tour, because
right.
some of this will be up near the freeway.
Yeah.
And that may sound like the least appealing concept to you, but it's actually some of the more beautiful part of our property. And if your back is to the freeway and you're looking at some of what we'll have you looking at, and if you have something in your ears blocking the sound of the freeway and instead ushering you into the presence of God, it's going to be, I think, a really great thing.
I have to tell you, when I walked out there for the first time after it was mowed, I thought I knew our campus was beautiful. I didn't know it was this beautiful.
Yeah,
it's gorgeous. This part is really pretty.
It's funny because I'll walk over there with people on our staff or who are leaders at our church, and they'll say, I've been here like 4 years. I've never walked over here. And I'll think, really? Oh, wow. And it's a great area. Pretty. Okay, so when we say hike, we don't mean that it's necessarily long. It is a little bit of a walk.
Yeah.
It's not short. But I'll say that it's a hike in that it's uneven ground. And then as part of it, because we're going to be on some of those parcels, we don't have golf cart access to that like we did for Christmas. So there really is not going to be an option to come out and hop on a golf cart and do the walk that way, the pilgrimage that way. We do have an idea for folks who won't be able to make the walk. What are we thinking for that?
Well, I think it would be great if you want to come out and you're maybe not able to do the walk itself. Just come out and listen to the audio. You can find a place on campus to sit and listen to the
that is a little bit more accessible.
That's accessible. There are tons of places on campus that are quiet and beautiful that you could sit and listen to the audio and get something out of it. Have your time with God. We're also going to have live worship in the barn all day long. There's going to be live worship. So if you just wanted to come out and be around some other people, socially distanced, and just come out and worship, you could come out and worship. You could make this into what you want it to be. If you can't come out and do the full pilgrimage,
there'll still be something for you in that, or you might say, hey, I can come do it, but I can't do all of it because of the inaccessibility. So I'll tell you this: our golf cart can hit 3 of the stations or 4 of the stations. So you may want to listen to the first part, and then we can try to get you around another way. So all right, what else do people need to know? I want to say don't bring your kids.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably an overstatement. So what would you say about families coming, and what age is this appropriate for? And
I just think the depth at which this is happening and the things that you're going to be asked to think about and reflect on, it's just not appropriate for a 3rd grader, right? Or I would say it's probably middle school, depending on your middle schooler.
Right,
even.
Depending on your middle schooler.
You'll have to discern that. maybe middle school on up. Because remember, everyone's got to be on their own smartphone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
My
yeah.
third grader doesn't have a phone. I mean, you know what I mean?
You might be able to share
So,
an earbud with
you
one of
could.
your kids while you have the other one in your other ear.
But I'm going to tell you right now, if
yeah.
I did that with my third grader, it'd be
Yeah.
a disaster.
Well, and here's my thing. It would be a bad experience for you.
Oh, totally. It
This
would.
is I always feel this way about the persons who feel like, I'm going to bring my first grader into the main auditorium during our services. We love your kids, and
Yep.
it's why we have an amazing kids program for
Right.
them. But I always think it's bad for you, the listener, the attender, because you're distracted, and
Right.
as well as the other people around you. So in this case, to carve out time in your day to come be a part of this, and then be a part of it in such a way that the whole time you're worried that your kid's going to go
Right.
run into the creek, or you're,
Any number of things.
yeah. You don't come to this out of Christian duty, like God expects me to go to the Good Friday thing. He doesn't. It's all good.
Right.
Come because you want to have a personal retreat type experience for an hour. And I think, so, here's what I would do. This is easier for me because I'm married, but Andrea and I would take turns then.
Right.
If that's not the case, if you don't have that ability with somebody who can come watch your kids, I'd say let us know, and we'll see if we can figure out a way to help you. Maybe there's a way to bring your one of your kids, and we can watch them for you if you trust. I hope you trust us. I guess you do that on Sunday, but yeah, I'd say that this is probably not the thing to have your younger ones on.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. But I'd say it is appropriate middle school and up.
Yeah.
Depending on the middle schooler.
Right.
Yeah. What else do we need to tell people about this?
You do not need to register.
Yes.
People have been asking me, where do I register? How do I register? You do not have to register.
Yep.
You can just come and show up.
Yep.
We have so much space that if 20
Yeah.
people show up at one time, we can space you out.
Yeah.
And you'll still be socially distanced from people. So
Totally.
you do not have to register. Just come.
We'll stagger you a bit, for sure. We'll stagger you. So if we did have 20 come at once, we might say, okay, we're going to send 2 or 3 right now. We're going to wait 3 minutes and then send 3 more. But no reservations, no registration. You just come anytime you want between 9 and 6. And what'll happen when you get here is you'll go to the courtyard. That's where this whole thing starts, and you'll kind of see a place to check in. And you will see a QR code that will have people here to help you make sure it works on your phone. That QR code will take you to basically a website with your phone that has a media player on it, and you'll hit play for start number 1 when it's time to start track 1. Right. And there'll be signage as you walk through this whole thing, and so you'll get to sign number 2, and it'll say begin track number 2 now. And that'll kind of be the way you go through the entire experience. I don't know. Right. I'm guessing this is going to be between 20 and 25 tracks.
I think it's about 19 at this point.
You think so?
I counted. It's about 19.
We'll add a couple more. No. That's not, don't be freaked out by that. That's not 19 stations.
Oh gosh, no.
But some stations might require a couple of tracks because there might be one while you walk, one while you sit, one while you leave. Right. I think that'll be an easy way to do it. But it is to say you really do need a smartphone. We don't, as of right now, have a way for you to pre-download the tracks. So don't bring your iPad. There's not Wi-Fi in the areas where you'll be. So you'll need a data plan that'll allow you to stream these just like you would a song or something like that on the internet. And hopefully that'll work.
Yep.
So
we're excited.
Yeah. Smartphone, earphones, earbuds, headphones, whatever you call it.
Right.
And if for some reason you're hearing impaired and that would be an issue that keep you from this, we will have something for you if that's the case. We have written everything that's going on these audio files, and we could give you a handheld script to carry with you so that you can kind of see what you can be thinking and doing as you go. Okay.
That's it.
That's the Good Friday thing. It took us 24 minutes to get through the Good Friday thing.
Because it's so good.
There's quite a bit.
So good.
So let's talk Easter.
Yes.
Easter Sunday, 2 days after that. Everyone, I'll say it again. Our main experience on Sundays right now is online. Online is where you will find us putting the bulk of our efforts when it comes to creativity, music, drama, video, even announcements. I feel like we aren't even doing announcements at the outdoor. We probably ought to start doing that.
I was just thinking that.
And at the same time, our outdoor gatherings continue to grow, and we actually had to move it this last week so that we could have a little bit more space and continue to safely spread everyone out. Well, Easter, we anticipate some of you might say, I want to be back on campus this Easter. And by the way, do you remember when last year the president said we would all be back on our church campuses by that Easter?
Oh my gosh, I know. I know. I think about that all the time, and here we are a year later.
It's not a political statement I'm making.
No, it's just who knew?
It's funny that a year later we're still not officially back in the real way. So so we're going to be doing an outdoor gathering on Easter Sunday, and we thought we'd do a sunrise service, Jodie.
Oh my gosh, every time you say that, it makes me laugh because I think we're going to be meeting at 6 a.m.
I know. Well, for years people have asked, why doesn't CrossWinds do a sunrise service? Churches do that. You meet outside. You kind of worship God amidst nature.
Oh my
and so we thought we'd do a sunrise service. And at CrossWinds, that means 9 a.m.
Yeah, we're doing it CrossWinds style, of course, sunrise service.
We're going to do a 9 a.m. service on Easter, which is so funny because yesterday as I walked on campus for our 10 a.m. normal outdoor gathering, I thought, why are we doing a 9 a.m. on Easter instead of 10 a.m.? And then I remembered, because it's sunrise.
Because it's sunrise. And because it got so warm.
Yeah.
At 10 a.m. As we approached 11.
Yeah.
It was really warm.
Yeah, when the sun's out. It wasn't warm. It's just the sun.
Yeah, well, it's true.
I got in my car and it said it was like 61 degrees at 11:30.
Yeah, but it didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
It was so nice, CrossWinds. It was so nice.
Yeah. So we're going to do a 9 a.m. sunrise service out here. It is going to be different than what's online. Now, as I say that, I mean that, again, the bulk of our effort's going to be going into that online experience, but it'll be the same message that's online. I think maybe some of the same worship songs. But I think as well, for those of you who really want to kind of worship God outdoors and with others and have that in-person gathering, we'll be doing that at 9 a.m.
Yes, but we're also doing something else at 9 a.m. that day.
What are we doing?
Sunday camp.
Oh!
Sunday camp!
Talk to us about that.
Sunday camp. So you guys, we know that so many of you would be coming back to church, but the thing that is kind of preventing you from doing that is that we haven't been able to safely provide anything for your kids. Well, last Sunday, which was yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday we launched a pilot program for something called Sunday Camp, where we're just kind of testing out what it would be like to start up a Sunday morning program for our kids again. And we're calling it Sunday Camp because it's a little like kids camp. If you've ever been to kids camp here, everything's outside.
Yep.
We're keeping our kids in small groups, socially distanced by age/grade. And it's the Sunday morning experience that you're kind of used to having your kids have here at CrossWinds. Only everything's outside, so we're calling it Sunday Camp. But this is our way of kind of baby stepping our way back into getting our kids back on campus. Right. And so Easter Sunday is the big kind of relaunch, if I can call it that, of kids ministry. Yeah. So
it's really the first time we'll be having something in place for K through 5, kindergarten through 5th grade, in person on a regular basis again. Now, we started it yesterday. We'll have one more Sunday. We're kind of calling these our pilot program. We've limited that to 20-ish kids. So that we can just make sure we work out all the kinks. Right. Yesterday went really well.
It was so fun to watch all these kids be on our campus again, you guys.
And to see some families back. But we know that that's about 10% of who's normally here on a Sunday in that context. So we're anticipating more on Easter. And as part of that, While you don't have to register to go to Good Friday, on Easter, we do need you to register on our website. And especially with the kids piece of this. I mean, if adults showed up without registering, it's not the end of the world. We can always make that work. But with kids, it matters because we've got to make sure we have enough Sunday camp counselors who are here to work with those kids, that the group sizes are right, just because there's a little bit more proximity there. That matters. So make sure you go online and you reserve your spot. Now, typically, that's the way it's been for all of our Sundays. So the way it's been for the kids with the pilot program, Jodie, we normally don't release the option to start to register until the Sunday before. Are you thinking for Easter we'll want to open that up earlier than this coming Sunday?
Yeah, it's actually up right now.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I believe there's a link right now. The registration form has been created for Easter Sunday, both for Sunday camp and for the service. And so that link went live yesterday. You should be able to register on our website.
Okay.
Like at the top banner, it'll say register for Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
And you can register for the Sunday service, the adult service, or the in-person service, and Sunday camp for your kids, all on the same form.
Yeah. I'll tell you, as a pastor, it bothers me so much that we have to do this registration thing because, especially Easter, we know so many people don't think about that they have to sign up to go to church.
Right.
It rubs against everything in us to be a place where people can just show up and not have to reserve the spot. All of a sudden, it feels like a very members-only club type thing. It is an unfortunate reality for us in COVID, especially with kids. I think everybody can understand that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We have to have enough counselors, like you said, but we have to make sure that our ratios in terms of counselor to group of kids, which I think we want 5 or 6 max per group to keep those groups small.
Yeah.
It's just what we need to do right now.
The good news is I think it makes children's check-in a lot easier because we know who to expect.
Absolutely.
We literally have them walk up and go, great, you're here. We see you on the list, you're in.
Right.
And that makes it way simpler than in the past where everyone's having to pull up all their phone numbers and stuff. I guess technically you always had some sort of registration when you came. It just wasn't a reservation, right?
Yeah.
Whereas this is a little bit more of that for kids. Again, we'll have online for Easter. And we'll have online for kids on Easter as well. So those will be options like they are every single Sunday. We're pouring a lot of effort right now into making that Easter service really spectacular. But for those of you who want to come back on campus, we're excited to have you back. For the adult service, you got to bring chairs. We have some folding chairs you can use, and inevitably every week there's people who don't bring chairs, and we pull those out. That's not hard for us to do, but I think you'll find yourself far more comfortable if you have a good chair.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what's funny? Every week I see some people come. It's not one person. It's probably 10 different sets of people with their own folding chairs. You notice that? Like old school folding chairs? Yeah. And I forget. I need to be telling them, hey, if that's your comfortable chair, leave it at home and just use our folding chair.
Yeah, you don't have to bring your own folding chair. We
have folding chairs.
They're just not comfortable after a while.
Yeah. You if you have like one of those kind of canopy,
bring a camping chair or something like that.
Camping chair, yes. I've got them with like drink holders in mine.
Yeah, put your coffee in it.
If you want to bring a beer and drink it during the Easter service, we can't stop you. I don't know what you're going to do. Okay. What? Is that inappropriate?
I don't know. Everything's an experiment.
If you want to bring a cooler out, if you want to tailgate during the Easter service, no.
Oh my
gosh. So bring that. The other thing we encourage people to bring is a Bible. We don't have the TV screens or the projectors that normally have things like scripture that go up that allow you to read along as we're reading it during the sermon or the points that go up on the screen sometimes. And as part of that can be a little bit challenging. So I know sometimes when we're going through a passage that is not a story, stories are easy. You just close your eyes and imagine it happening in front of you. But when we're going through a passage that is, 10 verses and it's a little bit more complicated in its language. I don't know if you know this about the Bible, Jodie, but sometimes it's a little complicated in its language.
Yeah. It's fascinating.
I'm joking. Jodie, Jodie has her doctorate
Oh my gosh,
in
which means
these things. So
nothing.
in ministry. Okay. That said, it's better to have one with you. A lot of people pull up the Bible on their phones, but and that's great. That's an easy way to go. But I'm throwing it out because I don't know if we've said it lately. So
No, we haven't said it lately.
Yeah,
So I'm glad that you said that. And I will say too that we will give you a handout with maybe the main passage, but it's not going to be all of them. So if you want to be following along, then I would bring Bible.
Even when we say maybe the main passage, I think twice out of however many of these we've done now, 20, we've actually printed the scripture on the thing. Yesterday I did, but generally I don't. So just want to make sure people know that it's not worth relying on that. We do a printout though that has like the lyrics on it to the songs we're singing and things like that. So I know for those of you who listen to this, you've already been to an outdoor gathering. We're telling you what you already know.
Right.
But many of you might be coming back to something like that for the first time on Easter. We hope so.
We hope you do.
And we'd love to see you. Those outdoor gatherings are quite a bit shorter than our normal service. And so because we don't do all the other programming elements, so if you're coming, 9 a.m. on Easter, and make sure you give yourself time to get here in time.
Yeah, because it's a little bit of a walk from the parking lot over the bridge to the area that we're going to be, and you're carrying a chair.
It is a little bit of a walk, and you're carrying some things. That said, we do have the golf cart available to take people back and forth. We do it every week, so if you've got any mobility issues, let us know. We'll take you. And in fact, at the end of the last one, I don't know if you heard me Sunday, I was like, if you want to drive over here, you're welcome to.
Oh, I didn't hear
that.
So
if you're someone who's like, I don't want to take the golf cart, we have plenty of parking there now for where we are meeting for Easter, at least in this little area we call the amphitheater. So if you're somebody who's like, I probably would want to just drive over, don't let that hold you back. We will get you out there with your car in some way and be able to do this. In fact, we could do a drive-in out there.
Oh my gosh, that would be so fun.
That would be cool. It would work really well.
Sunrise drive-in.
Yeah. Although, All right, everyone. I don't think we've got anything else, Jodie, do we?
I think that's a lot.
So the big ones, will say it again. Good Friday, 9 to 6. Solo experience. Come as a family, come as a small group, but plan on it being a solo experience. Got to have a smartphone.
Yep.
With a data plan. We won't suck up all your data, I promise, but you're going to want a data plan on it. You definitely are going to need earphones, earbuds, headphones.
Yep. Plan on staying for about an hour.
Make sure you wear shoes that you can do a little walking in some uneven terrain. You're not going to have to rock climb or mountain climb or.
That's next year.
You don't have to be you don't have to be particularly physically fit, but you do need to be able to walk on uneven terrain. The Easter service is at 9 a.m. The rest of them, if you keep coming to outdoor gatherings, are at 10 a.m. As of now, we may change the time on those. But this one is at 9 a.m. and Easter's at 9 a.m. I'm just saying it again, 9 a.m.
9 a.m. everyone.
It's also online if you can't make it to that, but 9 a.m. And then if you've got kids, we were offering a kids Sunday camp for kindergarten through 5th graders. Make sure you register for that online.
That's it.
All right.
That's great.
Thanks, Jodie.
All right.
Appreciate
you guys,
you doing
hope
this.
to see you.
Yeah. All right, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.